Budget sweetener squarely aimed at parents. Reports today Scott Morrison will splash $5 billion, boosting paid parental leave and expanding access to childcare. Joining me now is George Dent, Executive Director at the childcare campaign group Parenthood. Georgie, thanks for your time today. First up, what's wrong with the current system?
Well, actually, it was interesting reflecting on some of the comments that the Minister just made there about how much we want to get Australians back into the workforce. So we know that last year there were 90,000 parents in Australia who were out of the workforce because of the reason of early childhood education and care being too expensive. So the current settings that we have here in Australia, and I've been on a lot of times to talk about this, is that it actually is it deters a lot of women from working because the cost of early childhood education and care is so high that it often doesn't make financial sense for that person to go to work. But of course, then they miss out on all of the benefits, particularly the financial security that is associated with maintaining an attachment to the workforce. And so the bid that is under consideration at the moment, that I believe that the Business Council of Australia have put forward, really does say to the federal government that it is absolutely time to prioritise investment in paid parental leave and early childhood education and care, to bring these policy settings in Australia into line with comparable nations, because we really do lag with, at the moment, parents in Australia are entitled to 18 weeks leave paid at the minimum wage. Now, in the OECD, the average that parents receive is 50 weeks. So this proposal is talking about bringing Australian families to a point where they get 26 weeks of leave, and that is a tremendous start, because we have had 10 years in Australia without any movement on paid parental leave. And that means that families here are missing out. And the whole of Australia actually misses out too, because there are health, social and economic benefits that come from supporting families in that in those critical early years.
It does, the balance here, I guess, is for small businesses to have to try and absorb those costs. That is a hard balance, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's why, again, I actually go to the comments that the Minister was just talking about, in terms of talking about taking responsibility. And paid parental leave and early childhood education and care are predominantly issues that the federal government has to take a leadership role on. It isn't necessarily feasible for small businesses to be able to fund the entire paid parental leave that parents are entitled to. It is up to the federal government to say that it is willing to invest in this area, because the benefits are significant. And I mean, it is actually quite clear for a lot of businesses, the reason they offer paid parental leave is because it is cheaper ultimately to support someone that has already been trained and skilled and knows your organisation, to support them on that period of parental leave and then get them back, than it is to constantly recruit and replace people and have to go through that sort of talent hunting process every time someone has a baby. Part of getting these policies right is so that in Australia, parents and employers are not in a constant negotiation position. If we had the settings so that it is easier and parents are well supported to be with their families, but to also return to the workforce when that's appropriate, we would all benefit from that.
I would hope that something is done soon. We seem to have been debating this for years, don't you reckon? Georgie, thank you so much for your time this morning.
We absolutely have.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Thank you.